I also take this moment to introduce our next guest, Major General GD Bakshi, defense expert, also joins us on the broadcast. Major General Bakshi, thank you for speaking to NewsX, sir. I want to understand from you, in the interview to NewsX, Sheikh Hasina has vowed, sir, to return to Bangladesh. Do you really see this happening?
Well, yes, it could happen. It should happen. But only once law and order, rule of law is restored in Bangladesh and we have no lynch mobs on the streets paying for her blood. She is prepared to submit herself to the process, to the rule, the majesty of law, providing that law and order machinery is working. What we had seen in Muhammad Yunus's time was complete breakdown of law and order, mobs running amok, lynching, murdering people, raping women, burning houses. Hopefully all that has stopped. And once normal rule of law and order is restored in Bangladesh, and these murderous Jamaat-e-Islami elements, these former Razakars who were once supplying women, Bengali women, to the Pakistani armed forces, once they are reined in by the Bangladesh military and the police starts functioning there, well, then she can return, because she is not to blame. She has done her best. She had given Bangladesh a very stable government, given Bangladesh a lot of economic progress, all of which was destroyed by these parachuted elements from Washington because of the CIA, ISI generated colored revolution, orchestrated colored revolution. So if things return back to normal, and India is also assured that rule of law prevails, that the courts will deal with her and not the mobs. Mobs will not tear her limb to limb like dogs, then we will, only once we are sure that these the rule of law prevails in Dhaka in Bangladesh, can we think of sending her back.
Okay, but at the same time, Major Bakshi, Tariq Rahman is using his visit to India as some sort of leverage to get a deal on Sheikh Hasina's extradition. How do you see this playing out?
Look, the simple fact is, he is, well informed enough to understand that Bangladesh is surrounded on three sides by India. Unless you have friendly relations with India, Bangladesh will always encounter serious problems. The textile, the cloth, which they use for manufacturing garments, which was their main export, the cloth comes from India. They send the jute from there to the factories in Kolkata to make the sacks and gunny bags, etc. The two economies are linked, joined at the hip. How can you separate them? They are almost Siamese twins. And they have to work together, they have to work in concert, they have to cooperate. But you want to go to Pakistan and join up with the ISI, become part of a Middle Eastern Sunni pact, Sunni NATO alliance. You want to, build air bases which can threaten the Siliguri corridor. You want to threaten the Siliguri corridor, our land links. Well, then I'm sorry, you are asking for trouble. You have to decide whether you want to live with peace and goodwill, or you want to create trouble in our northeast, try and, create trouble in our threatened Siliguri corridor. Well, then you will get it back in good measure. If you can misbehave, so can we.
All right, Major Bakshi, then on that note, what is it about 1971 and India's role in the liberation of Bangladesh that the new regime must be made to remember?
Look, I took part in that war, man. My corps paid the maximum casualties. We were at the cutting edge. We were commissioned a month earlier than scheduled date so that we could take part in this war, and we did. So we have seen it at first hand how 1 million Bengali women were raped by the Pakistan army, mass rape. 3 million Bengalis were murdered, slaughtered in one of the most brutal campaigns of genocide in recent human history. 10 million Bangladeshis were driven out as refugees to rot in India. Right? This was the scale of the massacre, this was the scale of the atrocities unleashed by the Pakistani army. It was a man-made catastrophe, made worse by nature. Typhoon, cyclone Bhola had also hit Bangladesh then. And it was a double whammy for the people of Nepal. We had gone to rescue them, to their rescue. Along with the Mukti Bahini, we had defeated the Pakistani army. In 13 days, we had advanced from 3 sides 550 kilometers to the capital city of Dhaka, broken Pakistan in two, established a new state with the force of arms, with the help of the Mukti Bahini. We had freed the people of Bangladesh. We have seen them shouting Jai Bangla, welcoming the Indian army with relief and open arms, because we had freed them from a living nightmare. Lieutenant General Tikka Khan, butcher of Bangladesh, butcher of Baluchistan, had created mayhem in Bangladesh. We rescued them from that, and I cannot understand the height of ingratitude that you get taken in just because most of those people are gone, dead, they are old, and the younger generation hasn't seen the horrors unleashed by the Pakistani army. They have been suckered into trying to almost rejoin Pakistan. You will be heading for serious problem if you go that way. India has been of tremendous help to Bangladesh. And in Hasina Wajid, at least there was the rule of law. There was economic progress. You want to choose jihadi violence, jihadi anarchy and chaos, and murder and mayhem, bloodshed over the rule of law and order. That's your choice. But that can't go on and on for months and years on end. It has to be brought a halt, and the rule of law has to be restored. Once you do that, we'll send Hasina Wajid back. Because in a fair trial, we are sure she will be vindicated.
And my last question to you, sir. In our interview, Sheikh Hasina has detailed, of course, how the judicial system in Bangladesh was twisted to sentence her in absentia. But is her bid for any respite or reversal possible under the current regime?
Why not? Things can change. If they could change the other way, they can change back, because the Awami League was not allowed to take part in the elections. And the Jamaat-e-Islami has lost badly. The BNP, which was the only single party along with the Jamaat-e-Islami, etc., and these other offshoots, only they were allowed to take part in the election. You hold free and fair elections tomorrow. I am very certain the Awami League will come back. You are trying to avoid that. You are trying to hijack democracy under the CIA prodding, under the ISI prodding, to try and create problems for India. You created problems for yourself. Above all, total anarchy, total breakdown of law and order. And now you want to, act like jihadis by joining Islamic NATO, Muslim, Sunni NATO with Saudi Arabia, Turkey. Well, you belong to South Asia. Try and live well with your neighbors. Live at peace with your neighbors. Rather than making friends with Turkey and Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. Pakistan is 1,000 kilometers away. Those who will help you really are India and Indians. The earlier you realize that, the better it will be for the people of Bangladesh.
Right, absolutely. On that note, thank you so much to all of our guests for joining us on the broadcast to take this conversation forward. We leave it there and slip into a very short break.